Good morning, and today is going to be 9-2 of hearts. We are in mid position. We have a raise first in player from say middle position, early position. Um, Probably technically early position if you group these two as mid position. So EP2, raise first in is 2.8. We get two calls, small blind and the big blind. And what we're going to notice is that all the players are fairly loose. We've got a lot of hands on him. He's playing 36-19. We only have 13 hands, but he's played over 75% of them. 27 hands here, so 37% hands for this player. This player, we see he limps 2 out of 6 from early position, raise first in 2 out of 5 in mid position. Kind of hard to determine what's going on here. We don't really have a whole lot of notes, so just a hand like this, I think, is appropriate. This is about 24%. You know, you got your Broadway, your pocket pairs, suited aces, suited connectors, suited one gappers. I think this is probably all we can go off of until we have more information. I mean, that's pretty big range for an early position player, but it kind of matches somebody that's going to play 37%, 35%. Maybe it's looser, but who knows? This next player is playing 77-88, so just looking across the board, you can see he's basically playing almost everything. And for that, we're saying I started building, sliding the scale, and then I think eventually I got to 70%. I said, you know what? I bet it's all suited cards. So I just filled in the rest of the suited cards, which wasn't much. And then said, okay, we're at 75%. We're probably good. This is 75.6. It's just a massive range, and it's got a lot of junk in it. We do have some notes. So Queen 8 off and 7-6 off. Those fall in this range, so that is easy to see. What about a 3-bet? He's had 8 opportunities, hasn't made it. No big deal. I think I am just gonna say Queens plus Ace King. That's gonna be a 3-bet. That brings it down to 73%, which I'm okay with. This next player, I put together a range like that, 50%, and the reason being, when we look at his big blind, it's 51%, 32 out of 63. Which again is pretty wide, but he's called a 2-bet 52% of the time. So we're looking at least 50%, or around 50% is his call. We've got a 3-bet, 1 out of 53. I think that is going to be pretty tight 3-bet, and we could see what his 3-bets look like. So we've got a 3-bet range of Queen 10 suited. Is that in the blinds? We don't know. Could be a blind defense. Normally, if it's a blind defense, we'll see that. But, you know, Queen 10, he raised, and that's about it. But we've got call 2-bets from the blind. You could see the wide range. Nothing like we don't see aces, kings, queens, or ace king in there. So I think we're good. We got our ranges. We see a flop, and it is King 10-8 rainbow. And I think what's interesting is this player leads out. So donks flop 18%. What does a donk flop mean? Usually it means you've got a top pair with a weaker kicker. So you're betting here to see it because they're trying to gauge, is this hand good or not? Probably not even King 9. I mean, King 9's questionable, but a hand like that, maybe mid pair. Maybe they could do it, but normally it's going to be top pair, weak kicker, is what they're betting. So that's what we're doing. 3%. That's 8 out of 45. Yep, no notes on that. Is there anything else? Should we throw in a 9? Yeah, we'll throw in the King 9s. I think that's it. We'll just top pair, weaker kicker. The original villain folded. And if we look at his breakdown, you can see um, it's not going to be a board where he's going to flop super strong. If we were to look at like hands that he could call or hands that he could c-bet, I think open ender, gut shot would all be c-bet along with top pair plus. I think you can add like your under pairs and your middle pairs, or you could say jacks and queens and your middle pairs. You're at 65%, and then possibly these bottom pairs. It is a three-way pot, so I'd be okay to kind of check those. Definitely, I think maybe these middle pairs, like the bottom pairs, and then maybe like some of like the sixes and sevens could be checked, and that's 74%. Now facing the raise, I think you're getting rid of those. I think you still call with the open ender and the gut shot. And I mean, a third player, I think I probably would call with it, my middle pair, because I've got some draws with him too. I've got some backdoor straight draws, and it would be Broadway straight draw. I think I would probably call with those to see what's going on, and if I improve, then maybe firing out a bet like a raise on the turn. He doesn't have it, so he's gone. I think that's kind of how I would play it. And we're back to the massive range. Fold the c-bet stat here. It's not even a c-bet, but we just don't have enough hands to see him, so we're gonna give him a pair. We're gonna say he'll call with his pairs. We'll call with his open ender, his gut shots. So 59% he calls. Turns a 9. All right, now he leads, and he leads the pot. And to me, that suggests that he's got something. So donk flop on the turn, donk flopped without open-ended, straight draw, flush draw, and checked unimproved. So we've got a note on him here. So maybe it's a flush draw. Or maybe he's trying to rep. I mean, maybe he's got a gut shot. Well, he would have ace queen. He's got a lot of other gut shots. I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's betting with the gut shot. I can't imagine a top pair is going to be leading out here. I just don't think that that's what's going to happen with king, queen, king, jack. I think top pair is probably just going to check call. And I'm not sure why you would bet with those. So I just think it's something kind of weak where you have some of these pairs here that are also gut shots, and they're weaker pairs. And he bet large for it, and I think that's why the larger size. Like, you're trying to get folds, you're trying to pressure people to get folds. Yeah, you've got a short set, you've got 40 here, and I guess maybe he's trying to get them all in, but you get villain the calls, which I'm not surprised. Top pair is not going to fold here. Two pairs going to be continuing. Two pair I kind of would think would be frozen because of the 3 to the straight. So yeah, at this point, it's probably not going to fold. Rivers to 4, and then he checks. So once he checks, I kind of exclude the straight. I think he could still have a top pair hand here. Like all of those hands just kind of are unimproved. And then you get this guy that bets. So he called. So now I just kind of think he's going to continue with this top pair or two pair. And probably could have possibly improved with this two pair. I kind of think top pair, he would just check behind with it. Whereas two pair would continue betting here for value, get all in. And he calls, so at that point maybe it is a top pair hand. I can't believe like a middle pair would call. And I think a straight, straight, I guess straight could easily check all in, but I think a straight would have just let out here because the flush missed. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Let's see what the hands are. 7-6. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he did have the straight. So the note on there was wrong. Donked flop without. Oh, so that was a flop. Donk flop without that, and then checked unimproved. Okay. I see that. And then 10-9 for two pair. So kind of threw it off because of how they donked. So this was one where we were trying to figure out, what's he gonna donk with. I said top pair with the weak kicker, which I think is still standard. I think that's what people play, but you also have some of these under pairs that will bet. So adding those to his range, we're gonna keep this guy's range set. And then 9 of spades. Yeah, I guess if you add the open ender here along with the gut shot. But yeah, that threw me off. He donked. That's on the turn, so he donked the flop, and then he checked unimproved. Whereas here he bet out, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But he's leading for a pot with straights. Would he do it? Would he do it as a draw? He did it already with a draw, but maybe not the turn. So yeah, we missed it. So it is what it is. We can take our notes here. I think both players called with a weak range pre-flop. It's going to be calling, losing a lot of money on the calls unless they play post-flop well. So let's see here. This guy called EP2 2.8 big blind, RFI in big blind with 10 spades 9 diamonds. He is MP 3-way, and he bet 50%, called 100%, and then bet we'll just say bet 50% all in. AI on a king of spades, 10 of hearts, 8 of diamonds, 9 of spades, 4 of diamonds. All right, so we've got him. And this guy was also off. So he call. Let's do overcall. Call EP2 2.8 big blind. Oops. RFI and small blind with 7 of hearts, 6 of spades. Out of position 3-way. Check called 50%, bet 100%. check called a 50%. All right, king of spades, 10 of hearts, 8 of diamonds. All right, yeah, so not a fan of this guy's call. This guy, he's getting a discount in the big blind. I can understand the call on the flop or pre-flop. That makes sense. Not sure why he just let out here. It's a middle pair, a middle card. You do have a straight draw. I mean, it's a backdoor straight draw, but that's about it. Not sure why you would donk. You could easily have checked and let this guy bet, which he possibly could have. He bets, he calls, you call again. That's one more. Then you improve to 2 pair. Now you can lead out. You can bet. This guy would probably lead out again. He let out with a straight, so at least we've got a note that he's going to lead the turn, lead into that opponent with a solid hand. It's good to see. So, all right, missed both hands. 10-9, not too unusual for not having a top pair weak kicker. This guy leading out on the turn. I mean, his bet sizing was fairly large, and it's hard to pick up on what those bets mean on the turn. You don't see him a whole lot, so this time he leads out, and he's got a straight. So I would say generally, anytime there's a raise or a big bet on the turn, as long as it's not like a C bet, and as long as the flop isn't, the flop wasn't, let's see here, check through. Yeah, so that it wasn't like, if you're raising a C bet or leading into the C bet, I think generally the player has a hand, and that they're afraid that it's going to get checked through. So I guess we probably should have kind of planned for that and not so much be the draw. And I'm going to admit this note, really, the donk flop without OESD really kind of threw me off a little bit. That was the flop. That wasn't the turn. So yeah, I probably would have said, I think a pair with the straight draws is okay, but 2 pair, maybe a trips. But even then, if you've got trips, why not just check raise? You assume he's going to be betting, and same thing with the straight. Why wouldn't you just check raise it right there? In any case, we work through our hand, working on ranges, get some notes. Hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another.